recognized by, because they have certain signs. They have certain signs by their signs. And then they're going to be taken or snatched, actually, by their foreheads. Actually, it's their nawasi, which is the piece of hair on the front of your head. The nawasi is that piece of hair in here. Even if it's so small, Allah has the ant by its forelock. That's how mighty the grip of Allah is. By their forelock and their feet. Okay, that's just one part of it. Let's go through this real brief. It says they're not going to be questioned. It's going to be separated into those three groups. But as the angels come, it says that the angels are going to surround all of mankind. And there's going to be 7 rows of angels. 7 rows. Just imagine each person, there's going to be 7 rows of angels surrounding them from every direction. And as they're surrounded, they're being separated. The muqarribun hana are in one place, the people of the right hand in one place, and the criminals. How do they know the criminals? They're going to be recognized by the signs. What signs do the criminals have? They're going to have darkened faces. Sometimes somebody does something, they're embarrassed, their face looks like it turns dark, or they get red. Here, their face is going to turn black, and their eyes are going to be blue. They're going to be blue eyes, and they're going to be dark faces. They're more than 4 or 5 of them. Mufassirun describe them that way. And they're going to get snatched up. The angel's going to snatch them up by their head and their feet. But they're not just snatch them up by their head and their feet. They snatch them up by their head and their feet, and they bend them backwards. They snap their backs backwards so that their head goes backwards to their feet. And then they snap them and they toss them into the fire. And they say they're snapping them like you snap twigs before you throw it into a fire. By the head and the feet, and they bend them over khalf, wara'an, behind his back, not forward, behind his back, and then tossing them into the fire. And the next line here in the surah says that they're going to say, هذه جهنم التي يكذب بها المجرمون. Then they're going to be told, as they're thrown into the fire, they're going to be told, they're going to be said something to them. They say, this is Jahannam. This is the hellfire that the criminals used to deny. How about that? Here you go. Just throw them into the hellfire, talking to them. This is the hellfire that the criminals used to reject, used to call was a lie. So then that ends and says, يَطُوفُونَ بَيْنَهَا وَبَيْنَ حَمِيمٍ آنٍ. And they're going to go back and forth. These criminals back and forth in the hellfire, between the fire, وَحَمِيمٍ آنٍ, and boiling, scalding water. And they're going to be forced to drink it. Okay, let's talk about this. When they get thrown in the fire, if they can't take it anymore, they try to get relief from what they see as some type of flowing substance. But Hamim and An, as described, is a valley from the valleys in the hellfire, where the pus from the wounds and the injuries of the people in hellfire gathers up. And it's pus. And they think that it's water. And it's so hot in the hellfire that this pus boils. And they say An means Ani Ya'ani. Okay? For who are Anin. It boils to the highest extent that something can boil. And because the fire is so scalding, they are forced to drink this thing to try to find relief. And all it does is burn them inside out. And it says also that the angels are going to take some of them by their heads and stick them in that boiling substance and move them around in it till their whole inside boil, their skin and their flesh boils off and nothing's left but their bones and their eyes. And then Allah is going to give them another creation and it's going to start all over again. So these are the things that the criminal is described in Surah Ar-Rahman, the third part. And now we're going to go into the fourth and the final part, but the fourth part is broken into 2 parts. And inshallah ta'ala, I'm trying to be very, very quick so that we can get it. Don't move this off the board, because I wanted to see these are the 4 stages of Surah Ar-Rahman. Get it dry for me. So then Allah, thank you, sir. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. And then it starts off with a new line. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ رَبَّهُ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ. The one who has fear, khawf. The one who is fearful of the place, the place of his Lord. Maqama Rabbihi. Everybody says, yo, you don't understand my place. You know who I'm talking to? Who you talking to? You don't know who I am? We say this as these humans that we are to people who are lower than us, who we think are lower to us. You don't know who we talking to. We say this all the time, right? So Allah says, وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ, the one who is fearful of who Allah is, the place of Allah, Jannatan. He gets 2 gardens. How many gardens? 2 gardens. Right off the bat. I'd rather go here. You notice, from that last description, right? He says, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ ذَوَتَا أَفْنَانٍ. It's going to be possessing. It is going to mention what's going to possess Afnan. And Afnan is, you know, it's a few words. You can say Al-San, which means branches. It also means Fen, which means different types of things. 2 types. Possessing 2 types of everything. Okay? Everything is in 2s. They say you ain't going to get bored in paradise. You got 2 of everything. Okay? ذَوَتَا أَفْنَانٍ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ فِيهِمَا عَيْنَانِ تَجْرِيَانِ. In both these 2 gardens, there are springs, 2 springs. 2 springs that are flowing. The water is flowing water. It's important to understand how the water is flowing. Okay? In these 2 gardens, there are 2 springs in those 2 gardens. Okay? So actually there's 4 springs, right? Yeah. So in each one of these gardens, 2 springs. فيهما عينان تجريان فيهما من كل فاكهة زوجان. And in these is going to be every type of fruit in pairs. And some people say, what do you mean in pairs? So they say that it'll be dry fruit. You know, you eat the, what's the fruit? The orange one, the apricot. And then you eat dried apricots, right? You eat grapes and you eat raisins, you know? Every type of, you eat the, what do you call it? A teen? What is a teen called in English? Teen. Figs. You eat the figs raw and it tastes like jelly, right? You eat fig jelly. And then when it dries up, you eat them, they call them prunes, right? Is it the same thing? It's a plum. Plum. Okay, well, I don't know. But everything's going to be paired. Some say the dried ones and the fresh ones. We like them all the same, okay? من كل فاكهة زوجان متكئين على فرش بطائنها من استبرق وجنى الجنتين دان. It says the people are going to be reclining. Okay? Everybody's going to be reclining on couches. You know, they got something to line. The insides of which is made out of silk. The inside. And some people say the bottom part. Not even the part that the people touching. It's going to be made out of a rich silk brocade, you know? And they say, وَجَنَى الْجَنَّتَيْنِ دَانٍ. And all the fruit, everything that's on the trees is going to be in reach. It's in reach if you're standing. It's in reach if you're sitting. It's in reach if you're laying down. Well, you just got to put your hand. You don't even have to extend your hand. Okay? You just have to just want it, and as you want it, it wants you. So it comes down to you, whatever position you're in, okay, and not crowding you, okay. So this is what it's talking about here. The inside or the bottom part is silk and brocade, and this is mentioned. They say that if the bottom part, that you know, if the inside of it is made out of silk, who knows what the outside is? Brocade, yes, brocade. Rich brocade is like a type of cloth, okay? So you know the benefit of something, if its inside is made out of something really rich, then the outside has to be much better, right? Like if the inside of your socks is made out of the richest type of material in the world, the outside, the pants must be really good too. So we might assume.